When you're meeting people for the first time, and you're going to either a cocktail party or you're going to a networking event, what is one of the things you have to do? Exactly, talk. Is there anyone in the room that absolutely loves small talk? Okay, we are so unique. The majority of the people, all right, now I would like everybody else to raise your hand, you don't love small talk. That's about everybody. Okay, so let me share with you what some of you might sense before you go to a party. I've coached a long time with people, and they just say, I'm great in my profession. When I have to go to a networking event where it's about my profession, I'm always great. When I have to go to a social event, I have no clue what to say. Does that sound familiar? Okay, I'm going to give you a quick formula that's easy for the rest of your life. You'll know it. It's called FORM, F-O-R-M. And it's an acronym for family, occupation, recreation, and message. Family, occupation, recreation, message. Family is, are you a mama? Do you have children? Your occupation is, where do you work here at Siemens? What department are you in? Your recreation is, when we get out of this place, what are you going to do for fun? What do you do on the weekends? You look like you're in really good shape. You look like a sportsman. What do you do? Right?
Jet skis.
Jet skis, did I know that? I knew he was an athlete. That's an easy, nice thing to say. Message is, what is a message about a person? Message is their passion. What is their passion? You know about me now that I'm an advocate for autism. That would be something you could come and talk to me about. I'll talk your ear off. So when you find out that about a person, what is their message? What is that that's impressed upon them, that's on their heart? When you know that, you have now made a friend. So if you can find out that, you're good and golden. Eye contact in America is absolutely necessary. And if you have a tendency, I used to actually be very shy, and you turn to look away, it's a deficit. You want to practice in the mirror your handshake and saying, hello, how are you? I'm Mary, with a smile. The thing that a smile does is it endorses the other person, and it makes them feel that you want to be there. There's intellectual type of charismatic. There's politics. There's people that just have big personalities. But your reputation sometimes precedes you and walks in the door before you do. So what I want you to do is talk about who do you like, who do you admire, and then share with your buddy when was your first time or your best time when you felt charismatic. Okay, all right, as you can see, there's nobody that doesn't have charisma, okay? Was any of your story, was it fun for you to relive that moment? Yeah, and what happens when you're in that moment? Not for everybody, not for the lady back in the front. She's like, no, I didn't really like that moment. It wasn't so much fun, but energy comes when you are in that place. As a woman, we are agreeable, we're nurturing, we're people that we want to have honest, authentic relationships with other people. But our bodies will tell everybody how we're feeling. And if we do go to the side, it basically takes away your power. So what happened with this woman, it basically got her head to sit still on her head. And I encouraged her, and we practiced just a little bit to speak directly, to speak logically, to be in control of herself. And so she went back to the meeting, and she had probably about 15 people. It was a regular meeting. She went back and she waited because everybody was always talking, and she was trying to talk and nobody listened. So she sat there in her chair and waited, and everybody quieted down and listened to her, and she conducted the meeting. And afterwards they all came to her like, what'd you do? What'd you do? Oh my gosh, you're different. What do you mean? What do you mean? And she was able to now command control, and it was only the tilt of her head. One little tiny thing. So that's why some of these little things are so unbelievably tiny, and they're little nuances, but they can make all the difference in your life. I worked with this one guy who was a mid-level manager, salesperson, and he was about ready to be fired from his job. So he came to one of my workshops to see if there was anything, even something, to save his job. And he was about ready to go to a trade show working with the president of the company. So we worked through all the things about having energy, your first impression, and shaking hands, and had eye contact and smile, and presenting another person and introducing yourself, a lot of stuff we're going to talk about today. And so he came back the next week. He was like this eager beaver. He was so excited. I said, okay, you tell us what happened. He said, all right, I went to your class. I learned how to do all this stuff. Then I went to the trade booth, and I was in the trade show for a couple of days with the boss. He said, not only do I still have my job, he said, but what happened was so remarkable. He said, people came up to him thinking he was the president. So, yeah. So because he had people around him. So he was so dynamic. He had shifted so much because he learned a couple little silly things that are not silly at all. But he learned a couple of things, and he not only kept his job, he got a promotion. So he got a promotion because the CEO, the president, saw him as a real influencer. And so some of these things can really create influence.